Hi, I'm Claire and I'm the Head of Research here at the Optimum Health Clinic. I wanted to talk to you today about the role of stress in developing long COVID and give you 3 easy things you can do to support your stress levels nutritionally. So when we talk about stress in a biological sense, we're talking about our stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. And both of these hormones are absolutely essential to life, and without them, we wouldn't be able to get out of bed in the morning. However, in excessive amounts over a long period of time, cortisol and adrenaline have been associated in the research with the vast majority of chronic illnesses, including major depression, generalized anxiety disorder, cognitive decline, and when it comes to viral infections such as SARS-CoV-2, higher cortisol is linked to a higher mortality rate, a more severe illness, or a slower recovery time from the infection. Cortisol has been found to directly suppress white blood cells, such as natural killer cells, which help you fight infection, and lymphocytes that help you develop immunity to infection once you've recovered from it. Cortisol can also suppress our digestive secretions and our capacity to absorb vitamins and nutrients from our food. And cortisol is known as a catabolic hormone, which means it breaks down our reserves of nutrients, glucose and proteins and triages these resources into survival response in order to overcome the perceived threat or challenge. So if we're continuously living in a catabolic state, the overarching hormone signaling in our body is not going to be one of healing or rest and repair, and this is one of the things that keeps the illness going. Now, when we hear the word stress, we tend to think of it as psychological stress, such as relationship or work stress, deadlines or financial stress. However, there are other types of physiological stressors that have an equally significant impact on how our bodies, brains and our immune systems perform. And these include factors such as sleep deprivation, abdominal fat, hypoglycemia or blood sugar imbalances, ongoing inflammation, physical trauma, i.e. injury or surgery, sedentary lifestyles or excessive exercise, obesity, inadequate nutrition, hydration or food sensitivities, and finally the infection itself is inherently stressful to the body. So in a normal healthy stress response, I picture a dial for baseline stress being set at 1 or 0 out of 10, meaning you have the capacity to have a short-term purposeful spike in cortisol, which allows the body to deal with a temporary stressor like a threat to your safety or an argument with a loved one, and then your cortisol levels go back to baseline so you can then rest and repair. However, in a maladaptive stress response, if all of these psychological and physical factors combine over time and push your dial or baseline up to a 6, 7 or 8 out of 10, then you're already in fight or flight from day to day. And all it takes is for an infection such as COVID-19 to push you through that threshold into the danger zone for a more severe illness. So we work with our clients from both a psychological and nutritional and lifestyle perspective to help lower that dial or pre-existing load down as much as possible, because you might notice here that with the majority of these factors, they're actually within our control, and given the right tools and advice, we can make a massive impact to the person that comes into contact with the infection, which is often the difference between a milder illness or a more severe one. And finally, 3 ways we can alter our cortisol levels from a physiological standpoint would be to, firstly, cut out caffeine, or at least after midday, or switch to decaf if you like the ritual of having a coffee. In the body, caffeine mimics the role of adrenaline and it will push up your cortisol levels. And some people genetically cannot break down caffeine as efficiently, and so their morning cups of coffee can actually interfere with their sleep. Number 2, increase the protein and vegetable content of your meals. Both protein and fibres have a blood sugar stabilising effect, which will take away the need for adrenal hormones to get involved in regulating our blood sugar levels. And thirdly, always strive for better sleep. And this might begin with a tech or screen curfew after 8 p.m. The blue light emitted from screens and tech devices can suppress our melatonin production, which we need in order to sleep, to lower inflammation and to rest and repair. So I hope you found this explanation helpful, and in our next video, Jess from our psychology department will be sharing some of her top tools to support your psychological stress too.